So here we are. It is April 2018 and we're coming up to Anzac Day, and I hope to be able to lay 2 wreaths at both Scone and Gundy. I'm seeking council permission and sub-branch of the RSL permission to do so. I'm just going to have a little sip of my coffee. Geez, I make good coffee. Woo! So we had some rain at the beginning of the month of April and the end of March, but we're back to drought. We're back to drought, unfortunately, and the farmers of New South Wales are doing it really, really tough. So, Lord, if you can hear this, I know you can, because very few people believe in God, and very few people who do believe in God bother to pray. So if the population of the world is 8 billion, half of them don't believe, so you drop that to 4 billion. Of the 4 billion who do believe, if only half pray, that's down to 2 billion. And of the 2 billion who pray, most only pray now and then when they've got a problem, so you can cut that in half down to 1 billion. And of the 1 billion who do pray, very few pray on a weekly basis. So you cut that in half to 500,000. So you get 500,000 who around the world who pray on a daily basis. And you cut that in half again to the ones who pray more than 3 times a day. So about 250,000 times. And you cut that in half again between Northern Hemisphere and Southern Hemisphere, you're down to 125,000, which means you've got a pretty good chance of having your prayers answered if you pray regularly. If you pray 3 times a day, like morning, noon and night, at least one of those chances, you've got a good chance of being heard by the good Lord upstairs, Lord God Almighty, if you believe. And we've been doing group prayers at the Scone Bible Studies group, and every couple of weeks we have a group prayer and we figure out what's the most pressing thing that needs help. And like there was a family out at Marywar that needed help, and they had some help within 2 or 3 days of the group prayer. They had a block of land at, I won't say where, but it was in a flood prone area of New South Wales, just in the Newcastle area, and they've been trying to sell that block of land for about 18 months, and within 2 days of the group prayer we'd prayed to God that they have a bit of comfort in their lives for a change and the stress be taken from their lives, and within 2 to 3 days of that group prayer being stated, they had a buyer for that block of land. We regard that as a little mini community miracle. With myself, about 6 months ago, I had a greyhound who I was hoping to race, and unfortunately, when she was nominated to race at Muswellbrook, the night before she was due to run, she was hopping around on just 3 legs. She had a very bad hind leg injury that had flared up, and it was a career-ending injury. And so we said a group prayer for her, and it was quite emotional for me because I was going to have to put her to sleep. I had the vets on the way to put her to sleep because the leg injury was so serious. So we said this group prayer just to give her comfort. And the morning that the vet was on her way to put her to sleep, to anaesthetise her, little Teeny ended up bouncing around like a 2-year-old on all 4s. And I was astonished. So I regarded that as a mini community miracle because of the group prayer. And I do believe in God, and I do believe in a greater power, and I believe in creation, and I believe in Jesus Christ, and I'm not afraid to say so. I'm comfortable for other people who don't believe, and I'm comfortable for them to be negative. I'm comfortable for them to even cast shade and a shadow over my way or our way, because that just means there's fewer people praying, and with fewer people praying, that gives our chances much greater chance of being heard when we want to pray. So for all you non-believers out there, thank you, thank you, thank you. Agnostics, we love you. You're welcome to come to our Bible studies at any stage. We get together on Saturday mornings, 9 o'clock for 9:30 at the Scone Uniting Church, in the hall next to the Scone Uniting Church, because the group I'm with is the Seventh-day Adventists. I'm not a committed Seventh-day Adventist as yet, even though I'm related to Ellen White, who co-founded the Seventh-day Adventists. I still have a few little issues I'm working out, but I'm an intermediate believer in the Seventh-day Adventists. I do believe that you should be saying your prayers and getting together on a Saturday, because that is the Sabbath, and that's what God wanted, and I can't understand why everybody else are doing their worshipping on Sundays, because Sundays is a day of rest. Anyway, I'm reasonably primitive in my belief system, but I try to be a basically good person, and as my grandmother, who was a Presbyterian, a Presbyterian, she always used to say, look, God doesn't care if you don't go to church. She actually said he doesn't give a shit, and she was right. He doesn't give a shit if you go to church or not. What he cares about is that when you need to pray, you pray to God, you pray to him, you pray to one God, and that's him. That's the Lord God Almighty. And my grandmother also said, be kind to everyone, and that's the best religion of all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you're in the Upper Hunter area, come along sometime to study the Bible with us. Bye for now.